Alright, well, we're getting Brutus back together here. You can see what I'm doing at the moment is getting this little feller. This is one of the little valves that controls the gas down here at the bottom. And what's going on with this guy is when this cap is on, this is actually what you turn it with to turn the gas on and off. When I have it seated down in here all the way, it's binding on the edge of this cap. So what I'm going to do, you can see, is there's a lot of extra room in there that I don't really need, right? So when it's fitting in there flush like that, I'm just going to grind off the edge of that. It should give me the extra clearance. You can see where it's been rubbing. So we'll just get rid of that. Should be ready to rack. There is but one tool to rule them all. It cuts, it grinds, it makes pretty sparks. Wow, makes pretty sparks if there's carbon content in there. I'm not sure what this is made of. It looks like it's probably aluminum, so no sparks. But you can see it's ugly, but you'll do. So put that back on there, see if it binds. Alright, so now we can freely turn this thing, and it's not binding up on this, and I can get this nice and snug. So what was happening is there was gas leaking out of here, just a little bit, but it was causing a little bit of trouble. You can see on this little piece here, it's my propane gas valve that controls the pilot. It's basically from a water heater, but you see all that blackening there. It's because this was sitting right here on top, and yep, that's what happens. So got that all cleaned up. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, so we're just gonna do the same over here. You can see this one's still pretty much assembled, so I'm gonna take that one all apart, get this guy off of there, and get it ground down. Alright, so let's do some flame testing here. We'll see if this thing lights up, see if it's leaking. I'll open this guy up. Now, of course, because this isn't activated, it's basically acting like a plug. So I'm going to take the oldie source of fire. See if we get any. Woo! Yeah, I'd say we are. Yeah, I'd say that didn't work. Alright, well, it's an iterative process. I think I made it worse. Alright, let's try that again. Play this time. I'm gonna turn the gas off before I come over here. Yeah, oh, see, there we go. Damn. Well, it's not a torrent of flames this time. Well, I've done something silly and I've done run out of tape. And I don't think this fitting is really fitting. It's like, what is that, a triple pin? Well, better skip on down to the hardware store before they're closed up. See what sort of magic schmoo I can get to stop up this propane. Yeah, this is compression fitting. So, maybe years ago I bought the wrong thing altogether, and it's time to replace it. Something that'll work. Yeah, see, that's the compression fitting. on a gas grill, like barbecue. So it has that kind of tapered edge, and that's supposed to kind of push into a opposite end there. And so what I'm doing is, I've got essentially this black pipe that I've been using, and it just goes straight down. There's nothing in there. So I think that's probably my problem. Well, we'll trip down to the old home despot, see what we can do. Alright. So, back from the old hardware store, let's see what we got here. So, got some of this pipe sealing, pipe thread sealant. It's like a kind of a gloop that'll go in there. I think this is going to be what'll work. I used it a long time ago and I think it dried out or got crusty or something. If not, I got some thicker tape. This stuff's twice as thick as the stuff I was using, so should do. Let's give it a shot. Alright, first things first. It's freaking cold in here. Alright, take 3. Pressure out of the system, I'm going to turn this off, just in case I haven't done this yet. Got a little too much there. Looky there. Alright. Whew. Alright, we got all that off there. Time to apply it liberally. One thing I noticed is this stuff actually does set up a little hard, and you can see that. I'll show you in a minute here. On these pieces, there's this is the previous pipe dope that I used, or a compound, or whatever you call it, and it actually hards up pretty good. So I'm actually pretty confident this will work. It just needed to get reapplied. One of the original problems was because I didn't have this clearance here, I couldn't put it all the way down, and then every time the bench got moved, it wiggled a little, and I think it broke that hardened seal. So we'll get some of this gloop on there, get it nice and packed into these threads, get it screwed in, and then let it sit overnight before I start messing with it again, and hopefully that'll do it. Actually, you know what, come to think of it, I think I'll reassemble it tonight, and that way it'll get a chance to harden up when it's all in place, and then hopefully that'll work. If not, hey, it's not science, it's brewing. Alright, flame test. Still all of them. Looking good. Killer. Alright. That'll do. So let those set up. We're going to reassemble these guys. I think these are probably good, but we'll test them as we put it together. I'm not really worried about these as much, because if these leak, it's just going to heat under the table. But if it leaks below these units, it barbecues them a little bit. So if it's above them, it's all right. All right, let's get this sucker back together. Alright, so we got this thing reassembled. I actually used less of these elbows than I had previously. The deal was I wanted to get it away from the flame, like this this unit here, this gas block. Wanted to get away from the flame, but actually I have, since building my my foundry, you can see there and to the right, I have this aluminum silicate wool, so I'm just going to pack it around the joint there, and then when I put the heat shield back, that should be more than enough heat protection to keep the gas block there from getting barbecued. So I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this one, and we'll move on to the next one over there, and check back in when I'm done. All right.
Life is a thrill when your skills develop. If you bring it up,
Alright, last burner on, and then we'll let this all set up. We'll do the heat shields tomorrow, once this is all gotten a chance to set up. Installing this one's actually a lot easier. The problem is I've got my 2 liquid pumps under this diamond plate, so you really can't spin it. So that one was a lot tricky, but this one should go on pretty easy. Tight, so we'll just do one more. Get it out there real nice. Alright. Much centered. Alright. Well, pretty happy with that. I think definitely changed the layout of this thing. I haven't redone it like it did, but I think maybe for the better. These are a lot more sturdy, a lot more in place, so shouldn't wiggle around too much with the table moving. And hopefully that's all still gas proof. We'll give that a shot, see what happens. Crack this sucker open. See if it's still holding here. Of course, this won't be activated yet because this is completely unplugged, but no flames, that's always good. Alright. Whew. Well, that took a couple hours, but I'm liking this. Next up, I'm going to take these steaks that I got. I'm going to chop them up, and then what I'm going to do is lay them across here in sections like that, and weld those up on each corner, and that will raise these pots up off this table, because this table gets really hot. The problem with that is that when you're trying to cool down your wort, it's still bleeding heat off the table. Total pain in the ass. The other problem is that you got a lot of flame coming up here, and it just kind of buffets in this area because it's kind of sealed, so it creates kind of a mixture problem, which is not ideal. So by raising it just that much, it'll give the flame a chance to get out, or the heat, the combusted material to get out and heat up the pot on the sides. I think what I'm going to do on the front is just do a bar like that, because on the front of these things you have the gauge and the silicon tubing and the outlet and the thermal well, and I don't really want the hot gas coming out that way, so I'll probably just put a piece like that and then two in the back, and the gas can come out this way but not that way. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Let me show you the power of the Brutus. So this one over here is just a boil. So I don't really care about controlling the flame on and off, and that's why these have these propane water heater gas controllers on the back, is it hooks up to the main controller unit, and I can keep the liquid at exactly the temperature I want by turning the flame on and off. But over here, I'm just boiling liquid, so I don't really care. It's full blast on. So this kind of gives you an idea of what the burner looks like when it's running. Within maybe a couple feet off the table, way up here, it's still hot enough to burn your hand. It's a lot of heat. 100,000 BTU. Get those all blazing before too long. But we gotta hook this back up. I gotta get my thermocouple units back together. And then another thing I gotta do is, I had attached these with copper wire to these little brackets here. I don't know. Kind of janky, never really worked terribly well, so since these are just iron, I'm thinking maybe I could just weld them on there, but maybe just some stainless steel wire or something like that, I can just twist it up. It'll be easier than this threaded stuff. This stuff sucks. Or maybe just a bolt, you know, something like that. But more to come, not done yet. Come back tomorrow once I've got some sleep here. It's pretty late, and we'll get this rig all ready to rock. And then tomorrow I'm hoping to do a mock run with some just water. Get all the kettles all need to get sealed up as well. So these things, stainless steel kettles, all have like a little rubber gasket on here, and that needs to get I don't know, probably oiled. We'll clean that up. Clean these all up, reseal everything, making sure it's good to go, and then should be ready to rock. Make some brews. All right, peace.